Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to GB Gaming. We are playing Sins of Empires, or used to be known as Sins of New Eden. Long story short, this is a EVE Online mod for Sins of a Solar Empire. It is highly detailed, very polished, because the guys have been working tremendously hard on this, and it is available. I will try and put up their repository link for you guys so you guys can download this. And this is my capital ship array. I want to kind of get a feel, because I used to play EVE Online, so for me I'm a little bit more excited than most, and so is Gul, because he's played this before as well. So if you've ever flown to anywhere, specifically in Amarr space, Amarrian space, you will have seen these stations. So there's a lot of sort of ported models from EVE Online, but that's what makes it so good. The models are exquisite, the stations are really well done. So you can see what I was saying, this is the trade port here. You can see how freighters coming in there, and even like all the way down to the miners as well, who are our mining barges, which are going for our resource extractors. So generally, it's really well fleshed out. There's another Amarrian station, really fleshed out in terms of looks. Mining stations here, because obviously that's very Sins. So there's a lot of happening there. The sounds are very much Sins all the way through. There's industrial arrays, etc., etc., all the way down to even like some of the defences, etc. Which are pretty much the defences you get at a POS or a player-owned station, as it's known.
Further planet upgrades are required.
You'll see them out there, so you get things like ECM batteries and laser weapons and stuff like that. So all the kind of usual stuff. I want to kind of just go over like what you see. If you've not played EVE Online, then these ships are really a bit foreign to you. But I'm just going to go over kind of the ships that we have, starting with the Magnate, which was is one of the, I can't remember now because it's been a while since I played it, but I think this was one of the starting vessels for Amarrians anyway. But this is your scout ship in this, so it does have, obviously you get a lot of these unlocked as you go up. It's got micro warp drive, exploration, it can do field trades. This is the tier 2 version, because obviously I've done the research, so they're all tier 2 variants now because I've done the research for that. So this is the first ship you kind of get in EVE, and also your scout ship in this. You then have probably one of my favourite ships here, which is the Punisher class. This is like the first. So when I got the Punisher, I was like well excited. It sounded silly because it was just a Punisher, but this is like one of the advanced frigates. When you first get the Punisher, you're like, I've got a Punisher. This is great. So this is what I'd kind of say in EVE is your standard combat frigate. It has a Weber fire as well. If you don't know what a Weber fire is, I'll kind of explain that in a bit. But the Punisher. But again, because it's from EVE, the ship models are just beautiful. I mean, look at that. It's a beautiful ship. What do we have next? I think they're in the back row, maybe. Where are all my frigates? They've all moved about. I did have more than this. I swear to you. I had them all. Let's have it. There it is. Then you have the Inquisitor, which is actually like one of the few Amarrian gunboats. So in this case, obviously, again, this is all tier 2 now, so it has like the bomb launchers, etc., etc., etc. So again, yeah, very good ship. So this is your kind of missile, but good for attacking planets in Sins. That's what its role is here. So just something to bear in mind. And then moving on, there is an executioner, but I haven't been able to build the executioner. So I don't know if in the current version it's bugged or whatnot, but I couldn't build it. Couldn't find where to build it. Which is another nice looking ship. This is the Coercer, which is a destroyer. In EVE itself, it just basically has like turrets all along here. Each of these points is a turret. And here it's got interdictor probes, so trying to stop things from warping. So they're quite cool. You got the Confessor Tactical Destroyer, again tracking. It's got a Weber fire, it's got afterburner, hardeners. Again, it's kind of like a, how to describe it, like a mini sniper, I suppose you could call it in this mod. Let's go on to the cruisers though, because I think that's where the real fun begins. Or it did for me when I played EVE. So you start off with the good old-fashioned Augora class, auger or whatever you want, however you want to pronounce it.
Repairs?
But this is in this it acts as a repair ship, so it has this remote repair ability and a cap transponder, so it can actually share its capacitor with ships in range. So it's kind of like a supply ship. It's really good. It sits at the back of your fleet, so you want quite a few of these, a bit like fleet tenders in a sense. Then you have the Omen, which is the kind of first cruiser I got after the Agora, which was for my attack ship basically. Comes pretty standard with a web of fire here. Does reasonable damage. It's not too bad. The Arbitrator, which is by far one of my most favourite cruisers in EVE, just because of the looks. It was so un-Amarrian compared to everything else that was Amarrian in my eyes. But essentially, it was a drone ship, so it comes with what I think they're called prophecies. Were they? I can't remember what the drones were called now. Let's have a look. Infiltrators. I don't think that's the actual drones I remember having on mine, but again, it has tracking disruptors. Generally, what I used to do in mine in EVE was set them up as vamp ships, so I'd just rotate around people and then suck their cap dry while my drones fed, or and took their health down. That's what I'd used for in EVE, especially the Tech 2 one. And then you have the Mauler class, which is kind of the last cruiser you got, which is kind of like this heavy hitting.
Structure complete.
Heavy cruiser, if you like. In this, you can see it has field generators, interdiction spheres, micro drive, stasis fire. So again, this is the tier 2 versions, but you can see that the fact that they've got tier 2 is really cool. And from that, you kind of then progress to battle cruisers, and this is where you come across ships like the Prophecy class here. Now, when I originally played, I didn't have battle cruisers or destroyers. I never really invested in battle cruisers at the time, because it's kind of like a downgrade because I was working on battleships, obviously, at that point. But yeah, battle cruisers came in, and they're kind of like command ships. Again, they have drones. You can see here they have these damage reduction links, so they're good to have in your fleet instance. There is another one, I can't see where it is. It's here, that's why. The Harbinger, it's the other battle cruiser. Again, it's got this armoured mind link, damage reduction, adaptive armour hardeners, micro warp drive. So again, I can't. This was a very strange one. It's kind of Amarrian, but then there's winds jutting out, so it's a bit strange. So you're kind of used to the kind of duck beaks of the Amarrians. And so that you got the Harbinger command ship. So again, good having your Sins fleet. Armageddon, my first battleship. I was so excited when I got my Armageddon. Again, you can set this up to be a vampiric one. In this case, it has an energy neutralizer or a NOS on it. Drones, cloaks. This is a Tech 2. Can be a jump bridge for a Titan. So again, very cool battleship. I just loved. Do you know what? I just loved the look of the Armageddon when I first got one. I just loved it. So nice ship, quite a powerful battleship. Used them in spades. The Apocalypse was one everyone wanted. This was kind of like when Zero Set came in EVE. This was like the go-to sniper battleship for fleet combat. It was used by everybody pretty much, especially over things like the Raven. It just outmatched everything at the time. It led to a lot of people saying that the devs are biased to the Amarrians, but generally a really excellent ship, and it just looks beautiful as well. I mean, look at that. It is such a beautiful ship. It's like, again, in this, she's being used as kind of like a long range. She has a tracking computer, etc. ship, so she's pretty cool. And again, later on, what they introduced was this Abaddon. This didn't exist again at the start of the game when it was released. So this was introduced later, which is kind of like a heavy battleship, if you like. Lots of guns, kind of like a more advanced version of the APOC. Very slow, though, in this mod. So just something to be aware. They're your heavy hitting ones. Again, tracking computers, adaptive armor harness. They're very much an armor tanking race, so just something to be aware of. Now, if you were very lucky and you was in a big corp, then you could get
reporting in
a revelation, which was a dreadnought. So here, in this they have two variants basically to represent the setups that people used to do in these. You have this anti-capital one here, which is designed to obviously shoot down anti-capital ships. So these are all capital ships. And then you have this anti
How can I be of service?
Sub-capital, which is designed to shoot at the battleships. So in this mod, because you make the Tinker 2, there's two variants. So they all have like abilities and siege mode, etc. So Very similar to Eve. You can put them in siege mode, etc. So that's the Revelation. Again, if you look at it,
Where do you need me?
Wait, look at that ship. It's just beautiful. And this mod runs really well, by the way, so don't be worried about that. Because it's not very fighter intensive with the drones. It's not laggy at all, really, even in late game. Then you have carriers. So this is the baby carrier, the Archon. Again, I always thought this was a bit of a strange Amarrian design because it didn't really flow like the others. Certainly not as much as the Aeon. So I always found the Archon quite a strange design when it came into Eve. But I'm not complaining. I just don't think. Don't get me wrong. You see the beak shape at the front. I just didn't think it really fit very well. The Archon. You've got the Acronis here, which is the Apostle. I'll get it right in a minute. Which is their fleet tender, if you like. That's the best way to describe it. It has loads of abilities that basically dealing with these big shits and healing them up. So it's a really good shit to have. You don't really want to. If it dies, you're in a bit of trouble. So just something to bear in mind. The Rawkout you'll get when you start in the mod for most factions. This is kind of like your industrial super cap, which basically, as you can see, it colonizes. It has this panic module to make it immune. It does transport and mining boosts, so it will just go around buffing your mining in your system. So keep this alive. Don't necessarily use it to clear worlds. Although it's got drones, it's not really designed for that. So it does no damage with its kinetic bolt. As I said, it has drones, but they're not going to be enough. So don't rely on it in the fleet. Not going to talk about the Revenant, don't think there's any point. But you've got the Revenant as well, which isn't actually sort of the main Amarrian ship. This was actually originally a pirate faction ship. So again, it's a good super cap, but I just don't think it's as good as, well, the ones we're going to look at now. So you got the Aeon, which is their heavy carrier, if you like, or super capital carrier. This always looks like a trade ship that was cut in half, if you think about it. You know, you go back and you look at, let's find one. Got one. No, that's a mining barge. Look at the trade ship, and then you're like, okay, right. And even when you're in Eve, you're looking at it, and you look at the
online.
Yeah, so they basically cut a trade ship in half. That's all everyone used to say. Again, in this fighter sport, it's all drones basically. It has a good ability, so plasma smart bomb, super damage burst. Smart bombs, unlike in Eve, won't kill all your ships, so it's just something to be aware of. In this mod, smart bombing in the middle of a fleet was never a good idea in your own fleet. So there we go. Here we are. What's to talk about? The Avatar. This is the ultimate de facto ship. I mean, look at the size of it. This would give the Borg Progenitor in Armada 3 a run for its money. It's just massive. Obviously, you can research its devastating ability, which does, as you can see there, 75,000 damage. It's a lot per second. It lasts for 5 seconds, so it's a really powerful ability. Again, it has its own command links. This is, if you get this is your fleet buffer, if you like, and you have a smart bomb, and you have a jump bridge as well. So, you know, it uses the jump bridge ability in combination with the covert ops chips to get it, because it is very slow, but it can jump directly to them. So, something to be aware of. Again, I just, out of all the Titans, this was my favourite, the Avatar. Not just because I like playing Amarrian, not just because I played Amarrian, but just because I thought it was such a unique design. And we will show off the others.
I'll never
but
fail.
I mean, you can see how slow it is just even to turn. It is so slow. Like, oh, I gotta turn this Titan.
Ready to move out.
Oh, well, she gets speed up. She's okay, but she is slow.
To protect and
serve. What you expect. So you do get a feel. I think the mod makers have worked really hard to give each ship a unique feel. I mean, look how big she is in comparison, obviously. So even the Prophecy, let alone trying to pop out a frigate down there. But there's the Punisher over there. You can't even see it. So you'll get a sense of Eve if you're playing this mod. We're going to do some gameplay of it. We're not going to do it now, but we are going to do some gameplay at some point. And Gul is going to cover his two favourite factions. He's going to cover the Galente and the Kaldari. and I'm going to cover the Amarrians and the Minmatar, because I think that we wanted to split this one down the middle. So I just wanted to show you the research before I sort of finish this kind of quick faction overview off. Obviously they've stuck to Eve really well. You have warp disruptors, aka things that stop you from jumping from system to system. You have weather fires, things that slow ships down, make them really slow. You've got armor hardeners and hull reinforcers, so these are things that make the ships harder to hurt for armor, which is very Amarr, very Amarrian. And they've even followed the naming, so adaptive membranes, energized membranes, active armor, adaptive phasing armor, capital ship cargoes. They've got all the iconography that you'd expect from EVE Online, so it's a really well made mod. I do applaud. If you are the developer of this mod and you are watching this video on GB Gaming, they do get in contact with GB, because we'd love to do an interview with you guys and just chat about your mod and all the effort that's gone into it, even like down to the little touches like anode beam lasers to modal to modulated. So these are actually, if you have played EVE, you already know what I'm on about. I think that level of detail is really good that they've added that in. I remember going from a Limos to a Malkuth to an Arbalist. You know, Arbalists are really important, especially on things like Ravens, etc., and Canary ships. So, you know, these are all kinds of nice touches, even to the covert ops stuff. So you will notice a lot of the research feels very, very solid, and again, it kind of plays all the way through the feel of the mod, like even all the way to the improved cargo holds, Tech 2 cargo holds. It's really, really well done. Although it didn't show it here because I've just cheated and used all the research for in dev mode. These trade ships actually trade out for the bigger ones, so they got up to even the super freighters when you get to that high in research. And I thought that was a brilliant touch as well. So all in all, it's really, really well done. Again, I think the really important thing to mention is that as you expand, you will actually see Concord. Like if you have outlaw sectors on, Concord are the outlaw sectors groups, and that actually works. That's an example where outlaw sectors actually works in a mod, because Concord would be patrolling the worlds and defending certain worlds and stopping problems. Concord fighting each other, it does happen, but not so often. But you know, Concord would be policing worlds. That's what Concord did in EVE. So yeah, all in all, I'm going to say that if you haven't played this mod, it's worth playing. Do check out Sins of Empires or Sins of New Eden, whatever you want to call it now. And do stay tuned to GB Gaming, because obviously I'm going to go over the Minmatar. I just wanted to show you off the Amarrian factions, their ships. I love the ships. They're just beautiful. There's that Apocalypse. I do love the Apocalypse. Their ships. So, you know, let me know what you guys think. If you've played this mod, let me know in the comments. Tell me what your thoughts are on the mod, how balanced it is, how representative of EVE Online it is. I think it's really well done. That's my view. I think it's really well done. I think it's very much representative of EVE Online. And it's great to see the models in here. So if you admire the fact that the mod maker's gone to this effort to get an EVE Online mod that you can play, who hasn't wanted to command a fleet of ships? Because the truth is, it's going to be years, and I do mean years, before you'll ever get to pilot, if you're lucky enough to ever pilot a Titan. So why not play it in EVE Online, in Sins of Solar Empire, you know? So let me know your thoughts if you have played the mod in the comment section. Anyway, I will leave it here. I've been Bane. You've been watching GB Gaming. Don't forget to subscribe. Signing out as always.